Hello everyone. Today we have Sourabh Kumar sir, rank 260 in UPSC CSE 2024. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, it's a great honor to interact with you from the other side. Just a few days before, I was not even sure of getting into the rank, so it's quite a privilege to talk on this platform being a ranker. So my name is Saurabh, and I am originally from Bihar, and I have lived in Odisha for 10 years due to my father's job there, and his job was an inspiration for me to come into civil services. I have done my graduation from IIT Kharagpur. There, I was exposed to multiple sectors like startups, finance, and also my father's motivation to do something big and make wider decisions and wider impact motivated me to join the civil services. And since 2022, I am preparing for civil services. This was my second attempt, and luckily, I got a rank 2 this year. And I am going to appear again, but this year I am quite thankful to God and to all mentors so that I could reach here, ma'am.
Congratulations, sir. Sir, when did you first hear about UPSC? So, what made you believe that yes, you can do this?
No, I am from Bihar, so UPSC is not a new word for me.
Yes.
In Bihar, every parent has a dream that their son becomes an IAS officer. But for me, UPSC was not a dream from the childhood. For me, I like the corporate style more. But in my college, many seniors cleared the UPSC examination, and I saw their impact. So first of all, seeing their journeys and also the wider impact that IAS officers are creating, I got to know about the UPSC, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, when your result came, so how many screenshots did you take of your result?
Not screenshots, but when my result came, I started seeing the result from the top. Not because I was expecting a top rank, but because I did not want to search a rank and did not just there is a vibration when the search, but do not find the roll number. So it is quite. I experienced it during the last mains result. So I just was searching, but I searched wholeheartedly just by gaining courage. And when I found my roll number, I just found 0832 and I got my roll number. Then I searched more than 10 times to just confirm it is me, ma'am.
That's a good feeling, no? Seeing
Yes,
your name in the result.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. So, sir, if not UPSC, any backup plans? Did you thought of it? Any backup plans if in case you could not clear UPSC?
Yes, ma'am, because whenever an aspirant comes to prepare for UPSC, he does not think that he would need a backup plan. But UPSC examination is such that we always need a backup plan. That's why I realized during the second attempt. So this year I was definitely planning from some backup exams, like not exams particularly. I was planning to switch my career into MBA so that I could create the impact there too. But it's quite difficult to quit the UPSC journey, ma'am. So I had not thought of a particular backup plan, but definitely if I would not clear this time, then I would have taken some alternate paths, ma'am.
Okay, MBA is a good option though.
Yes.
You thought good. Yes, sir. Sir, you're always a very disciplined student in all our programs. So, sir, how did this discipline, this consistency of your helped you in scoring a rank?
I think motivation is the biggest factor that lacks in UPSC journey of an aspirant, because UPSC is very random. We have to accept that, and in every stage we have randomness, and that demotivates us. So once you become disciplined, you automatically rise every day. Like I was a student for Amit sir during interview mentorship program. So every day, even if I was getting bored or not feeling good, then also I appeared before Amit sir. And after 3 months, just because I was feeling that I had worked for 3 months, I had a good feeling before interview. And I think that boosted my score too, because you have confidence when you work hard for a long time. So I think discipline definitely helps in boosting your confidence, and directly also helps for many person in maintaining consistency too.
True, sir. True. Sir, while preparing and in your UPSC journey, did you ever face the imposter syndrome? And how did you deal with it?
Yes, ma'am, I faced, and I think that it would be wrong to say that many, like almost all the aspirants face at some point of time during UPSC preparation, excluding few, ma'am, just not to offend them. Because, ma'am, in UPSC examination, the prelims, mains, interview, these all processes are so random, and also the journey is so long, that you always have a doubt on yourself. Even me, during this attempt, I doubted myself whether I was even suitable for this examination. In first means, I was not writing good GS answers, and in due course it improves. But when you see the toppers copy, you start doubting yourself. And this year I wrote myself good answer. So I think I was suffering from the imposter syndrome, but I think that only helps us to improve, because if you feel that you are okay enough, then you cannot improve. So I felt it, but that helped me to, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, what was a one mental framework or a quote that guided you through the entire chaos of UPSC journey?
Ma'am, I came across a quote from Thomas Edison that even if you fail thousand times, rise again, because he failed to create a bulb thousand times. Then again he tried and then he created. So this is very much relevant to any aspirant UPSC journey, because you are bound to fail. Not only even if you clear in first attempt, you are bound to fail in mock test. You are bound to fail in prelims mock test interview. You don't get very good score every time. So these quotes
Mm-hmm.
help me motivated that if everyone is trying more than thousand times, so I have to also keep trying. And luckily, I got the result. I uh, I could not. I did not try for more than two attempts, but still, I would if I would have got more than two attempts, then also like this quote would be relevant for me, ma'am.
True, sir. Winners never quit, and you are sure one of them.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, yes, sir. So, would you mind sharing your prelims approach with us?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, according to me, prelims is the most random stage of UPSC preparation. But if you handle it well, then it becomes at least easy for in terms of that you attempt good, then you can clear every time. So in my first attempt, I was quite sure that I'm not going to miss the prelims, in at least my approach. So from the tour itself, I started my preparation from 2022 May. So right from October, I joined the test series and I started gauging my preparation. When you join a test series, then you also get to know your mistakes and your weak areas. So till January, I tried to complete the syllabus at least of entire prelims. I was not remembering everything, but I at least completed once so that I know the length and breadth of the UPSC syllabus. Then
Mm-hmm.
after uh, January, I started revising multiple times. So I also focused on current affairs initially, but later I got to know that statics is the real king, because you can only remember up to a certain limit, and statics is the
Mm-hmm.
best because using that you can clear current affairs too. So I revised multiple times. Then I attempted mocks too. I attempted more than 100 mocks in my first attempt, and luckily I cleared in my first attempt. So I I got a boost from the result too. So in my second attempt with less preparation also I was able to clear.
100 mocks. Did I hear right?
Yes, and I
100
was too
mocks.
scared, and now also I accept that I am too scared of the next. The PLC is coming on 25th May, so I'm scared too, and now also.
100 marks. So, on this note, I would just like to, ask one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Many of the students get into the mocks and they forget themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
You scored a good rank, but many of the students get into the prelims mocks and they feel like test series is everything, and they need to, you know, or should I say, they are dependent on the test series marks. If they score 10 out of 10, oh, they are doing good. If they do not score a good, numbers, they are like, oh, I'm failing somewhere. So they get into it too much.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
would you like to say something on that?
Yes, ma'am, definitely, because it is one of the syndrome that my friends are also facing. There are many intelligent friends of mine who are more intelligent than me, who are failing prelims consecutively. So I think you rightly pointed out that they get into the mocks. They forget that it is just a means of the prelims examination. So I also felt sometimes that mock scores were not so great, particularly in human geography, ancient India, medieval India. You could not get scores even if you study much. So I changed my approach there, ma'am. I attempted the test according to question bank format. For example, if you get 100 questions, then you attempt one by one and you extract the important information and leave out the rest, because not every question is important. And that helped me in clearing the examination, ma'am. Because in mains also there are many random questions in mains test series. So I followed that approach only, that the question that I am feeling that it is not relevant, then I should not attempt. And it depends on you also. If you are utilizing well, then you don't need to uh, cross a threshold of 100 tests. You can clear it in 20 tests also, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, on this note that you started explaining about mains, so what was your strategy for mains examination?
My main strategy is simple, like other toppers. Like In my first attempt, I just focused on my foundation course. I just
Mhm.
wrote three point wise answer, 5 points to a particular question, then intro revision, and through that I could score very less marks only in my first mains. So I then realized that mains is a different game, not only of content but also of answer writing. So in my
Hmm.
second attempt, I did some quality enrichment for my answers. Like in my second
Hmm.
attempt, I was very much thorough with the keywords, data, facts. For example, ma'am, if I read anything about women, then I would write 3 years approach, Suvidha Suraksha Saman, and this punchline would increase my marks for 5.5 marks. If you get any question related to disaster, then you draw an India map, and you show the flood prone areas, earthquake prone areas. So these are the small
Hmm.
changes that I brought into my second mains, ma'am.
Hmm.
Also, uh, you have to change the answer in terms of approach too. For example, if you get any question of critically analyze, then many aspirants are writing just positives and negatives. Here you get to
Hmm.
innovate too. For example, at the last you could write way forward. After the
Hmm.
introduction, you could draw a small macro diagram. So just this type
Hmm.
of approach I changed in addition to the foundation course, and rest is it's simple as compared to other topics.
Okay, sir. So, how did you select your optional? On the basis of logic, interest, or a scoring potential?
Ma'am, I would say that logic is the last priority. Interest and scoring potential was my first priority because in 2018, Kanis Kataria had topped in UPSC with 361 marks. So
Hmm.
I did not consider the logic. I just took the interest because I have a IT background, so I have a strong maths
Hmm.
background. And
Hmm.
as far as scoring potential, you also know that maths is a great optional. But I did not consider logic itself, and that backfired too. I considered maths optional because it is very scoring, but it backfired with me in both my attempts. In both my attempts, due to maths only, I could this year rank is less, and last year I could not clear the mains. So logic is very much important, as you rightly pointed out.
Okay, sir. Uh, if you are giving next attempt, we are looking forward
Yes, ma'am.
for a good maths. Sir, did you follow the read less, revise more, or read more and cover more approach? Which approach did you follow?
And cover more approach should not be approach of any aspirant, and I also did not do it because if you just cover more and are not retaining anything, then it will backfire at some point of time. But I
Hmm.
also did not specifically read more and revise more kind of thing. I followed a different kind of approach. As the exam approaches for prelims and mains, particularly with me,
Hmm.
I could not study more because of frustration and randomness of examination. So
Hmm.
I just there are many YouTube channels. Kalam IAS Academy also provides great videos before the examination. So there are other YouTube channels too. I just saw the marathon videos before my examination. That
Hmm.
helps us in revising, and if you get into a topic and you can easily know where you are lacking, then that only I revise multiple times. Otherwise, I saw the videos, and audio visual memory is very great in UPSC preparation, particularly for prelims. So this for approach I follow now.
So revision is necessary. Revise continuously, time and again, right?
Yes, ma'am. Without revision, you cannot clear this examination because you have to retain for prelims, for mains, and for interview too.
Okay, sir. So, we are going through a digital age, as you can really see. How did you filter through the, content overload in this digital age?
Yes, and this is a very big concern. Like in Telegram, particularly, you join multiple channels, and in every day, every
Hmm.
channels, more than 10 PDFs are coming just before prelims, just before mains. So no aspirant is foolproof, like immune from this. But
Hmm.
I filtered out. I would tell that trust on the mentors. In interview first, I would like to create Amit sir and entire Kalam IAS Academy because I was trusting Kalam IAS Academy that they could improve my score. So I did not go for much content in interview. And second, ma'am, prelims and mains. And that also from the past toppers, luckily I trusted and I achieved the rank also. Uh, in prelims, I trusted the ultimate topper that we have to focus on static. Earlier, I also diverged to multiple YouTube channels, multiple different contents, but I stick to static. Luckily, I also don't know why I stick, and because it worked in prelims, so I focused. I followed the same approach in mains too. So I just say it was more of a coincidental thing than a planned thing, ma'am.
So we value your trust and confidence on us,
Yes, ma'am.
on Kalam IAS Academy, and we are glad to help you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
So,
so much for this.
so moving forward to the interview. part now. So, how did you prepare for the interview?
Ma'am, after the mains result, I thought that
Mm,
interview is a very easy thing because when you listen to the toppers of earlier or the mock interviews of earlier toppers, you just you think that these are not some good answers. You can tell better. But
mm,
when I appeared for a mock interview, I realized that
mm,
it was not uh, of only based. It was not interview of testing the knowledge of only content. Content is
mm,
every aspirant. It was more of a voice modulation thing. How you tell with soft and humble tone, like how
mm,
Paj approach, like Amit sir mainly pointed out, I had an extremist approach towards the poor and
mm,
vulnerable sexes. Not because I had
mm,
anything in my heart, just because I had a tone like this. So I
mm,
gradually improved. So in interview preparation at every day 9 p.m., a discussion was conducted by Amit sir. So I followed it
mm,
regularly for 3 months. And apart from it, I did not do any major practice. I talked with AI so that I could get more fluent in English. More than fluency, we need voice modulation. And apart from that interview, ma'am, we just have to read the newspapers and for the current affairs, it is more than enough, ma'am. Apart from that,
So, yes.
yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, as you rightly pointed out, voice modulation is necessary. So how important would you say that body language and voice modulation is for the interview preparation for the these students who are going to prepare now in the news? So how should they prepare better their body language and voice modulation?
And first, talking of voice modulation, it is very
Mm-hmm.
much important because when you just speak in a monotonous tone, they are not able to connect with you. And also, they think that even if you are telling from your heart, they think that
Mm-hmm.
you are just telling a well-remembered quote or well-remembered paragraph. So it is very much important to connect with them. Like in my initial marks, they told me that it is more of a viva thing to be like I was being interviewed, and they told me that it was more of a viva than interview. So I was lacking in voice modulation, ma'am. And second, ma'am, body language is very much necessary because many batchmates were selected. They when they entered the room and they wished good morning before completely standing before the board. So it was it
Mm-hmm.
negatively affected their marks, and also it does not look good. I also saw the videos of my batchmates, and I also thought that it does not look good. Apart from that, ma'am, hand movement is very important. When you sit in front of the board, many aspirants just keep their hands still, or many aspirants keep moving their hands more than often. So both, ma'am, impacts negatively. So this is also a very important approach. And third, ma'am, sitting position. Sitting upright is very much necessary, but you should not look like too much tensed. So these three things, ma'am, I think is very much important for in terms of body language for the interview, ma'am.
Be attentive yet
Yes,
calm. You
yes,
mean to
ma'am.
say? Yes, sir.
You very rightly
Okay,
pointed out in short words, ma'am.
okay, sir. So, in this interview preparation of yours, did you prepare for controversial or opinion-based questions? If yes, how?
Yes, ma'am, because uh, many teachers and mentors would suggest you that not to prepare controversial topics because it is generally not asked. And luckily, in my interview also, luckily or like it is true that not a single controversial question was asked in my interview. But
Mm-hmm.
still, I prepared many. For
Mm-hmm.
example, ma'am, simultaneous elections that
Mm-hmm.
combined with electoral funding. This was a controversial topic at that time. A second,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, UPC with living relationship because it was
Mm-hmm.
already implemented, so you cannot go fully against it. And there are many other marital rape. These are some controversial topics yet. Like marital rape is not so controversial because it is in favor of girls, so we have to support it. And also, I support it personally. But there are some controversial topics like religion-based, for example, the mosque-based issue at that time, in terms of Babri Masjid. So I
Mm-hmm.
followed a simple approach that we do not have to go to extreme, and we have to be immune from political parties. We have to act like a civil servants. So I just followed a neutral
Okay.
approach, taking keywords from the constitution, so that I followed three keywords: ma'am, neutral, impartiality, and yet calm. Because you have to show that you are in support, yet not favoring any political parties. So and also,
Okay.
if you quote constitutional articles, then that gives weight to your answers, and it does not show that you are giving just anything from your mouth. So this approach followed me helped me to get ahead of the controversial questions.
Okay, sir. So, can you share a funny or unexpected interview moment of yours?
Yes, and there was a funny interview moment. I don't know that how it affected my interview marks, but I my hobby is reading mystery novels and watching investigative documentaries.
Okay.
So mystery novels, like particularly you also must have read Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes. So I just prepared on these lines, and I also read these during my hobby part. And investigative TV series, I was investigative airplane accidents, drug uh, drug and money laundering in South America. But I came across Sacred Games, and Vikram Chandra is the author. So I just had a glance, and I reached the interview hall, and luckily they asked me to, who is the author of Sacred Games, and there I forgot the name. So I told Vikram Gupta, and sir extended this whole point into long conversation. They like sir was normal during the entire interview, but after this he went into screenwriter, he went into the director, he went into the playwright of Sacred Games, and whole interview followed a different trajectory. But luckily I got average marks, so I don't think that it impacted me negatively.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next time,
Yes,
remember the name.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, what changed in your life after the rank list came out?
It definitely changed my life in terms of, first of all, it provides a deep sense of relief. Uh,
Hmm.
if you're entangled in UPSC preparation, then you always think that if I can get out of it as a winner or loser, you can do great things in life. But you may not. You always you cannot be sure of clearing the UPSC ever in 6 attempts. So first, a great sense of relief for both me and my parents, and second, ma'am, UPSC is very generous too. So luckily, the after the rank, the respect also tremendously increases. Though still I'm humble enough to accept that luck played a major role. So I'm not too blown away by the rank, man.
Okay, sir. That's good that you're humble. It is
I'm
needed.
trying to be, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, sir. Do try. So now, what would be, what would your 10-year-old self say if they saw you now?
Ma'am, I took life too seriously in these 25 years. Like
Hmm.
I prepared for JE, then entire college I prepared for CAT, CFA. Then after college I prepared for UPSC. And at the point I reached, I realized that life is more than just examinations and taking
Hmm.
it more serious. So I would
Hmm.
advise my younger self and both those who are present and those younger selves that take life little calmly and more in a chill manner. Because I realized that
Hmm.
after achieving success too, there are many more things. Seeing your parents happy is more important than just reading in a room. Though this is also important. So I would advise just to remain more calm and take life more in a more joyful manner rather than taking it too seriously and being isolated in a room.
What's one thing that people often get wrong about toppers?
I often get wrong that they are seeking the truth because in first of all, ma'am, I would like to explain a bit because when I achieved the rank, then I told
Hmm.
some aspirants and some students who came to take guidance from me that I studied just 7 to 8 hours and followed the normal approach, and then I cleared the UPSC. So they took
Hmm.
it more in a negative manner that I don't want to share my strategy or I'm telling to mislead the aspirants who are ready to study 10 hours. Then
Hmm.
I also started saying that I studied more than 10 hours and I followed a rigorous study schedule, just them to please them. Because yes, ma'am, it is really truthful because I once told that don't need to write much answers for mains and just we have to focus on answer writing. Then one aspirant told me that you don't want to really share your strategy. So one thing that we get wrong about toppers that they are telling false to like praise themselves or get more glorified, but they are just telling the truth. Uh, just telling the truth so that to please the aspirants. So if you really want to, then don't believe 100% of things that toppers say on multiple podcasts or monologues. Yes, ma'am. But this type of interview you take are so much realistic, ma'am.
Okay, sir. We believe you. Sir, any message would you give to the aspirants from small towns or humble backgrounds?
The small message that uh, in terms of UPSC, ma'am, I would like to give that
Hmm.
one message that they don't need to come to Delhi or they don't need to over glorified by the multiple success stories and hard struggles. Uh,
Hmm.
UPSC is a normal process. I also believe that I could not clear it after my first mains. And then I followed the
Hmm.
normal approach only and I could clear it. So if I could clear it, then anyone could clear it. So don't make a bridge in between that it needs a different kind of experience, different needs kind of talent. It is a normal examination. I consider myself normal in terms of humanity background. So if I could clear it, they can also clear it very well, ma'am.
Sure, sir. Sir, let's get to the fun part, rapid fire.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. You have just got 1 second to answer, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One subject you secretly disliked but studied anyway.
Art and culture.
Okay.
Yes.
One motivational song you had on loop.
Prasthanam. I think every aspirant hears it to get motivated.
True. Newspaper or YouTube? Your current affairs buddy.
On YouTube, definitely.
Mains or prelims? Which one haunted your dreams?
Prelims, ma'am. Still it haunts.
Tea, coffee, or silence? Your pre-exam companion.
I don't take any of these, ma'am.
Okay.
Water.
Silence? You don't take silence
No,
also?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. One series you secretly watched during preparation.
It's no, like if not one series, I watched almost all the series that launched on Netflix during the preparation.
Anyone would you like to recommend?
Yes, ma'am. Squid Game Part 2 and related to that, so both I would like to recommend.
Okay, sir. One hobby you'll return to post preparation.
Ma'am, reading. I wrote mystery novels because I read it during the college. So I would like to return to reading multiple genres of novels. And this inspired me because from the last 3 years I have not studied many novels.
Okay, sir. If UPSC journey were a movie, what would be the title you would give it to?
Let me think for 10 seconds because it's a long journey.
Sure.
Ma'am, I would give a more cliche title like Agni Pariksha because yes, ma'am, because you have to like after every attempt you don't know that whether you will emerge as a topper or emerge as a failure. Still you have to attempt and still you have to give your 100% and you have to ready to accept the failure also. So that's why this title suits more, at least to my journey for 3 years. Ma'am.
Okay. One book that you read cover to cover.
Ma'am, Polity, Lakshmikant, because I not only because it is more scoring, but I like it to study even if I don't feel like studying. So I read it cover to cover, ma'am.
And fiction? या कोई दूसरी
Yes, ma'am.
book?
Yes, ma'am.
कोई
Many
दूसरी book
fictions
पढ़ी
novels.
थी?
Yes, ma'am. One novel, and there were none by Agatha Christie. And second is the yes, ma'am. Should I repeat again?
Repeat again.
Ma'am, and there were none. This is the title only. And there were none.
And there were none. Yes, Agatha Christie. Okay.
And one more Da Vinci Code that I read more than 10 times because it such a suspense novel. It is. I also suggest you to also read it by Da Vinci.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, biggest distraction while studying?
And the entry videos, like they demotivate us more than they motivate us because at a point you feel that you cannot get into that and you just feeling that you just demotivated by that entry videos of the IAS IPS, ma'am. That was the biggest distraction.
Let's hope our interview session does not demotivate anybody. If UPSC were a person, how would you describe them in 3 words?
Ma'am, I would describe it as a generous, ruthless mentor. And I would explain every word of this because it is generous because after achieving the result, I also saw a change in my life. And I also never expected that it would bring such a massive change in my life. So it is quite generous. After 3 years of journey, it's quite justified after what I got after the results. Huge respect and opportunity to serve in the country for the next 30 years. And ruthless because ma'am, it is really ruthless and it don't need a justification. You just have to keep trying and the process itself is very ruthless. You work in isolation, you are cut off from friends, still you have to work in the despite randomness. And mentor because I specifically told mentor because earlier many toppers told that UPSC teaches you many things during the journey. But I always mock them that UPSC does not teach anything. It is just an exam and if we study then we can clear it. But in the last 3 years I realized many things that life is much more than an exam and or life friends are also very important. Earlier I took friends too lightly or too granted. Then I realized the importance when they were cut off during my UPSC journey. So it is really mental also because you teaches us many things to any aspirant to prepare for it now.
Okay, sir. So, what was your celebrate? How did you celebrate, or what was your celebratory meal or treat?
I would say treat.
Treat. Okay,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Order them correctly. Strategy, consistency, luck, and support system.
And can you repeat the all the four again?
Strategy, consistency, luck, support system.
Ma'am, at first I would keep strategy, a second support system, and third consistency, and fourth luck. And fourth luck, because I don't believe that luck does not play a role. And am admitting here itself that luck played a major role in my success too. If I would have
Mhm.
got less than 20 marks less in my interview, I would not win the list. But I just
Mhm.
put it in the last because we have to ignore the luck, despite knowing that it plays a major role. Because consistency, support system, and strategy plays a major role in motivating us too. So that's why this order, man.
Okay, sir. So, three things you would advise the UPSC aspirants who are giving prelims in just some days. What would three things you would like to advise them?
First is that trust the mentors and other toppers,
Hmm.
because many aspirants think that they can do it differently,
Hmm.
and some are able to do it. I am not offending anyone, but we have to trust the examination and mentors like you and entire team at Kalam IAS Academy, who mentors us, and we have to believe in them. Then only we can clear this examination. This syllabus is so vast.
Hmm.
Second is, ma'am, in terms of prelims, only you asked, so I would suggest them revision is the key.
Hmm.
So in this examination, don't study more, just revise more once
Hmm.
you have covered the entire syllabus. And third is, ma'am, trust in yourself. Even I started losing the trust in myself during these 3 years. So if you
Hmm.
trust yourself, then you can clearly get this examination done. Because this examination is not tough, just the journey is tough. So trust in yourself is most important in this UPSC journey, ma'am.
And what three things you would suggest to avoid?
I think that also is correlated to these 3 points. First is following too many strategies by too many mentors, too many toppers. That is
Hmm.
the perfect recipe for disaster. Second, ma'am, doubting yourself and being cut off more than it is required. For example, many aspirants work in isolation, cut off
Hmm.
from all friends, cut off from all social media.
Hmm.
That is not really required. I was not
Hmm.
never cut off from social media.
Hmm.
As I already told, that I watched all the movie series and TV series that helped me
Hmm.
relax.
Hmm.
And third is, ma'am, uh, we should avoid in UPSC journeys over glorifying us and like overestimating us. Often
Hmm.
we just keep IAS, IPS as our dream, and if we could not
Hmm.
achieve it, then even if we have ambition and potential to do everything else, we could not do it just because we are demotivated. So just don't glorify, take it as an exam. If you could not
Okay,
clear it,
sir.
then it is just an exam.
Okay, sir. So, uh, now that we are wrapping up, describe your journey in one line.
That I would I'd like to choose the word from earlier itself: ruthless yet rewarding. Because it was three
Okay, sir.
years and I started doubting myself, but still, after getting the result, I think that it was quite rewarding and it's quite generous too in terms of what I got after the results.
Okay, sir. As you mentioned that you will be giving the next attempt, sir, we
Yes,
wish you all the rank. And if you are joining, we wish you the best of the best in your civil services career, sir.
yes,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.